a hydrologist, and so that means that I study how humans impact the water cycle. In particular, I research how we can improve agricultural water management, especially in artificially drained agricultural watersheds. I also investigate how things like policy, climate change, irrigation withdrawals impact the sustainability of our water resources. Because I'm interested in water cycle impacts in a variety of landscapes, I don't have any one research facility. Sometimes I'll establish a field site like this one here in order to investigate one particular conservation practice. But I also use data synthesis, remote sensing, and computer simulation models in order to build on those field observations to look at larger spatial scales and larger time scales. Sometimes my stakeholders will be individual farmers who might be interested in how one conservation practice will work on their land. But often my stakeholders might represent local, state, or even federal agencies, and they're interested in the cumulative implications of a practice or policy. One impact of my research is the increased knowledge that farmers and other decision makers have on the impacts of conservation practices as well as climate change impacts in agricultural watersheds, so that they can use that research-based information to make informed decisions to increase the resiliency of crop production. Another area of impact is increasing knowledge in the general population as well as policymakers of potential conflicts with things like irrigation water users and other water users, like water needs for municipalities. The knowledge that I'm gaining is shared in several ways. I do publish my data sets fairly regularly through venues like the Purdue University Research Repository. So through that, other scientists can access both the raw data and the synthesized data to look at it in a different way. And then I share my findings in workshops and webinars around the state and around the country. One area that I'm currently both really excited to work on and pretty frustrated has to do with this platform that I'm standing on. This is the irrigation pump station for a new drainage water recycling field experiment. And this is exciting because it allows me to bring together my research on agricultural drained landscapes and also my concern about climate change impacts and adaptation. The idea is that we are capturing drainage water from the agronomy farm, the Agronomy Center for Research and Education, that drains into this wetland and has for decades. We've installed a control structure that in theory lets us hold that water through the growing season, and we're then using it to irrigate a soybean field. So the idea is that we can improve the resiliency of our crop production by helping to get through increasingly hot and dry summers. But we're also mitigating some of the flood danger that we're seeing in the spring because of increasing spring precipitation that's overloading our drainage systems. This project has allowed me to put some of our theory into practice by actually trying to install the system and collaborate more closely with my agronomy colleagues like Dr. Sean Castile and Dr. Dan Quinn, who are involved in the soybean and corn research.